What's up everyone, Blue Zerker here, and today we are going to be talking about the Arceus Crobat Carnivine deck. This is the deck that I personally use to hit MasterBall, so if you want to grind during this last week, I highly recommend checking this deck out. It's a lot of fun and pretty consistent. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of the deck, then we're just going to do some showcases of some games that I had with some quick voiceover, and we'll be able to show you how powerful the deck really is, and even at that highest tier of play. I do have to play in MasterBall now, so hopefully I don't lose that ranking before the time runs out. But we are playing double Zubat, double Crobat, and double Rare Candy. This card is so good. It's why you're playing the deck. Cunning Link deals 30 damage to the opponent's active Pokemon if you have Arceus on the field, and Arceus itself can power itself up to deal 130. This means that with Crobat and Arceus, you're dealing 160 in a turn. Not much survives that in the meta, and then as long as you've gotten any chip shots on anything else, you are going to have a good time. Now, Incineroar and Charizard are two strong threats, so are Decidueye and Meowscarada, who have enough HP to survive. We see a lot of that in like the Ultra Ball, but as long as you've dealt any damage prior, the opponent is forced to just keep using those healing items, and you're able to stick around and stay strong. We've got double Arceus EX, of course. This guy has to be here. If there is a weakness to this deck, it's not finding this guy or leading with him going first. That's why we play Leaf and Alima. Alima lets him take some shots. With the two giant capes, he will always survive something, so being able to use him as a wall, Alima him back to your hand. You will lose the cape, but not losing 2 points is definitely worth it. Double Rare Candy, of course, for the Zubat. We've got Guzma. This card's so good. Being able to take the tools off the opponents can give you some really nice thresholds. If the opponent is only survived because of cape, you can Guzma the cape off, knocking them out, and then you get a free attack in on who comes out. Red card is so good against evolution teamed Pokemon. If the opponent's Sprigatito calls for family, and then the Professor's Research, you can just neg the opponent really hard. So many people Professor's Research pass when they're going first or even going second because they can't use those evolutions yet, and you red card it away. You are not dependent on Crobat. That's part of why this deck is so good. And then Double Ball and Double Research, of course, for consistency. The second they give us a card that's like Cynthia's Lore, and it's if you have Arceus in play, search a specific card, this deck is going to go absolutely crazy. I don't know if that'll happen. That's my little custom card for the deck. But anyway, we're going to go right into those games. Thank you guys so much for clicking the video. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed, comment which deck you would like to see or what you think about this deck, and subscribe. We're on our way to 250 subscribers. It means a lot. The support, especially on a smaller channel, really helps bolster it and says, hey, this is worth watching. Maybe you should check it out too. But anyway, I've been Blue. We'll get right into the games, and I'll smell you later. All right, in this first game, we are going to be going first. We lead with Arceus. This is like the worst thing that can happen at the beginning of the game. You don't want to see Arceus going first because it's just hard to get it out, and it just sits there taking hits. But we are going to Pokeball, and we have Research. We're actually going to Research first. I know people are like Pokeball first, but you need to see the basics in this deck. That is the deck. So by doing that, we were able to draw two basics, increase our likelihood to get Zubat, and then bam, we've got Zubat, Carnivine, Arceus on the field. We are going fast and we are going strong. Now, he is stuck in that position, but with the Crobat and Rare Candy in hand, we're going to be able to pressure the opponent down. This deck can go fast with the Carnivine. It can go slow with the Crobat. As long as we get to what we need, we can go from there. Cunning Link. Right now, this Froakie is already at threat, and we are powering our Arceus up in the front. Very similar to like Darkrai Giratina, except our threat is not there exactly. They are going to do that Greninja, though, with the Rare Candy. Of course, they had it. They're going to Water Shuriken us. Going to see which route they go for. They can kind of start pinging Carnivine and threaten to Sabrina it in. They actually hit our Crobat. I think this is the wrong decision. They could maybe pull us in, though, with Cyrus and like Oricorio, right? So we are going to draw another Research. This is a great draw. We're going to go ahead and see Guzma and Carnivine. This is pretty good. Carnivine already here, ready to go. We're probably not going to be able to get that other Zubat set up this game. And if they do knock our Arceus out, we have the other one in the back. So we're going to throw this cape down. This forces the opponent to let us live another turn, and then we're going to be able to get an attack with our Arceus in. I'm debating on retreating to kind of keep myself alive here because they would have to kind of commit themselves a different way with the Greninja Water Shuriken ping, but I need Carnivines alive. They are going to Guzma us, though. This is what I was talking about in the deck screen, where it is just a powerful way to get some knockouts that you wouldn't get. We've got Water Shuriken coming our way, so they've essentially dealt 100 damage this turn, right? So that's going to hit us, Miss Slash, and now our Arceus has been taken out. Good for us, though, because we have the other one in hand. We're going to draw. We see Leaf. Man, that would have been nice at the beginning of the game. We wouldn't have been in this pickle that we're currently in, where the opponent has some play against us. But that Cunning Link is going to deal 30 damage to Greninja, and then we're going to Vine Whip it, knocking it out. Now they have Oricorio, but what are they going to do against us? They could potentially hit us once. If they get belt, they would be able to survive, but we have Guzma in hand. They'd really need like red card plus cape. There's the cape I was talking about. They can attack us. We would have to retreat, if we weren't able to take it out in one turn. Zap is coming down. We're going to draw. We see our own cape. We're going to Guzma, get rid of that Oricorio cape. We can Cunning Link, and they're just going to concede. That's how quick the deck can go, but we are going to be going second in this one. We see Arceus come on out, and we are going second, so it's not as bad of a lead. We always want to see Carnivine, though, right? Because that's like the super power play that the deck has, is Carnivine into Crobat into, turn 3 super hit. But they are going to Professor's Research and draw 2 cards. They're going to throw a cape down, so now they're at 80 HP. And we're going to have to slow roll this, right? We do see red card. This is great. We can throw it down. That research into red card. Enemy combo feels really bad. We research ourselves. We draw 2. We see Carnivine. We see Pokeball. We are going to get Zubat. Thank goodness we needed to see it. Now all we need is rare candy, and we are online unless the opponent also like red cards us, right? We are going to start getting Arceus powered up in this position. The best part is because Carnivine only requires 1 energy, we can leaf it out, and then we don't have to commit to it early, right? Where the Arceus can be here just chilling and powering up. We see the other Arceus. You are always in a weird spot in this deck where it's like, do you put the other Arceus down so you can do, or because it takes up room for your Zubat, or getting your other Carnivine ready to go on the bench. But generally, this is kind of the position that you're looking for, is double Arceus and a Zubat and a Carnivine. And then if the Carnivine gets knocked out as your attacker or one of your other Arceuses, you could get the other Zubat. I mean, perfect world is Crobat, double Crobat, Arceus, Carnivine, right? But that does not happen often. It's not very consistent. They're going to Sabrina us in. We are going to think about this for half a second. We have Leaf, so it doesn't matter as much what we put in, but I actually make a pretty big mistake here. I go into the Zubat, who only has 50 HP, and they do have a 50 HP damage option. It's the Incineroar, right? So if they rare candy us into Incineroar, that would be really bad, and they're going to do that. They're going to retreat this Charmander out, go into Incineroar, and knock us out. Carnivine would not have died to this, and because I had Leaf, it was the better option. I was banking off of like, oh, I can get out anyway, I can rare candy, and then I get a free retreat, and I don't even lose an energy or a supporter card, and if I draw research, I have a better chance, but I wasn't able to get it. They are going to be at 180 HP. We are going to research, draw our 2 cards. Speaking of, there's the rare candy. So that was kind of the play I was trying to play around, but I forgot about the Incineroar, and sometimes you can just get too into your head about what you want to do, and it'll mess you up for later, because I could have done that play instead and not lost a point. Now there's a little bit more pressure on this game. We are going to attack. The adding a benched Pokemon does not change the situation here, and I wanted to keep another card in hand, and it actually benefits us greatly, right? So now we see Zubat, and we have space to put the Zubat on the field. That's the biggest problem. You start throwing everything down, and you get really behind. We are going to get this second Arceus powered up. We're going to Ultimate Force here to knock out the Incineroar, and now they have Charmander, and that should be an easy win. As long as they don't rare candy Charizard us, we should be in a good position. Even if they do somehow pull that off, which would be ridiculous, we could, oh, there it is. There's the rare candy, and there's the Charizard EX coming down. So they're going to throw that energy and stoke the flame, and next turn we have to worry about 150 damage. They only need 2 more points to win. We need to put them in a situation where they can't take us out by knocking out the Arceus. So what we're going to do is we're going to play around every possible option. First, Cunning Link. We need this. We need 1 more turn of this. We can attack, but there's no reason to attack. We will knock out and we'll lose the game. We need someone that can survive the 150 HP, and we need to be able to be proofed from the potential enemy options, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to retreat out, and I'm kind of taking my time thinking about this because I want to figure out exactly what combination of cards. They just pulled Rare Candy Charizard, right? I'm sure the card they need is on top of their deck. What we do here is we get the second energy on this Arceus. We have 160 HP, and then I actually decide to Alima it back because now we're Cyrus proof. If the opponent Sabrina's us, they can only take 1 point because we send Carnivine in, and they're going to Pokeball. So good. We had to play around certain options though, or we would have lost. They can attack us for 150 HP. Thanks to that cape though, we are going to live with 10, and now we can knock the opponent out with Cunning Link, dealing 30 damage, bringing it down to 140. Guzma taking out the cape, bringing them to 120, and then the 130, they're going to concede. That was a very complex ending. All right, this one we are going to be going first, and we see Carnivine lead. The ideal, like, perfect start of this deck is Carnivine, Zubat, Arceus into Rare Candy, because that's 80 damage on your second turn, turn 3. Very, very good. We are going to see, we want Zubat, we get Arceus. It was a 50-50. We failed the coin flip. If you've seen any of my content related to Misty, I miss 100% of those coin flips. They do have Tapu Lele out on the field, and the funny part about Tapu Lele going second is you can't actually attack because the opponent hasn't created energy unless they're playing Giratina, we're going to Vine Whip for 50. We don't have much else we can do. We really want to see the Zubat. Getting Zubat will put us in a very prime winning position. They're going to throw down the Giant Cape on the Tapu Lele, so now they're going to be able to survive. And then they even Center Lady. This is a weird choice. I guess they just decided they weren't going to be able to use it again. You shouldn't do that because it doesn't change any of the math. They could, I guess, potentially be worried about Giovanni, but these decks often don't run it. We're going to draw 2 cards. We see Leaf, we see Guzma. And now we are going to be able to, you know, I guess they actually benefited from the Pokemon Center Lady. Maybe they were playing around the fact that we would draw Guzma later because now it's not going to get a knockout, or before it would have. So maybe they're just on like the next level and my criticisms aren't valid. We're going to draw our second Crobat. We're getting Arceus set up in the back. So that's good. But man, oh man, is it annoying that I cannot find Zubat, right? That's part of rare candy things. If you're playing a little bit broader of a basic spectrum like the Arceus is, sometimes it can be hard to find certain things. But if you have not found Zubat to get your Crobat set up, then you're at least attacking with Carnivine. And 50 damage every turn, only having to find another basic, is pretty strong and consistent with Pokeball and research and whatnot. They're going to get Giratina set up in the background, and we finally see the Zubat, which is such a good position for us to be in. We're going to switch our Arceus in here to knock out the opposing Magneton, and then we're going to Cape. This is going to keep us from getting knocked out by a red Giratina combo. They don't really have anything that can take us out here. Sabrina would be annoying, but if they Sabrina, they can't red, so the other Arceus survives, and we have the Leaf in hand to be safe. We also have the Carnivine that we can sacrifice at this point in the game. You know, Giratina's sitting at a hefty 150, right? They Pokeball. They're going to pull something into their hand. What is it? It's another Magnemite. I like the little shiny that they added to it, though. And they have red. That's exactly what we were talking about, right? You have to know what the thresholds are, especially at higher rank, right? Like, you're not going to make it to the higher ranks if you're not thinking about the fact that, like, okay, I lose to this. And they're going to go ahead and concede. There's nothing else they can do. They know that they're cooked. And yeah, that was it. This game we are going to be going second. We are leading with the Arceus. Notice how none of these games I've even gotten the power play, right? Power play being going second with Carnivine, with Arceus on the board, and being able to attack for 50 right off the rip. That's a very good, strong deck. But regardless of that, this deck has some very strong potential because of the way that it's built. You have the later game options, you have the guaranteed options with Arceus and Crobat, and you have the super early aggression options with Carnivine as well. They're going to research. Look at that big fat hand. Man, oh man, if only we didn't have red card. I love slamming this card down. It feels so good. I had a friend that was like, this card's not good. And then I was like, I swear it's good against evolution decks. And man, oh man, does it feel good to basically rip 3 cards out of the opponent's hand. We're going to research. We're going to see our Arceus and our Zubat. And we're just going to start getting our other Arceus set up. We have the Crobat line in hand ready to go. They're going to research themselves. If they even go into Charizard here, we would need Cape. But they do have Charmeleon, right? That's where that red card disruption comes in pretty handy. We can rare candy here into our Crobat. We'll get the next energy set up on our Arceus. Then we can go there. Had the opponent Charizarded, we could have leafed out our main Arceus, come back, and then got it set up. That way the opponent would have to get through our big Arceus, and then we could come out and Cunning Link it. So we didn't have no plays against it. But they do have the Sabrina, and we are going to send the Crobat in because they can't attack right now, and it's free retreat, right? So that was kind of a waste of Sabrina on their side. We have the other Zubat, we have Cunning Link, but it's not even going to matter. We can throw the Cunning Link on the opponent. They're 120. We do get the Zubat basic, which is important for Arceus, and bam, 130 damage. Arceus takes out Charizard. They didn't even have the most optimal, hand or anything, but they did have options, and we had options against it. That was our 10-game win streak, by the way. So you'll see at the end of this that I ended up losing a game. It was a very unfortunate indeed. But 10-game win streak at MasterBall is pretty freaking good, not going to lie. We are going to be going here. We're going first, of course. Hopefully it's not like Arceus. We do lead Arceus always, every time, always. So we do see Leaf in hand, though, so that puts us in an okay position. We are going to Pokeball. Go ahead and grab something out of our deck. We see the Carnivine. I'm going to research. We see the Arceus. We research into triple basic. We have the Zubat, we have the Carnivine, and we have the other Arceus now. Had I have gotten Carnivine, I probably wouldn't have even researched this turn. I would have leafed out into the Carnivine instead. They would have been alerted in by the super effective damage on Litten, and then we could have one-shot it with Arceus if they ended up doing it that way. We're going to Pokeball, though, and see what the opponent does. We have a pretty good position. They red card us, and we're not that upset about it. We are a little upset about the lack of Leaf, but they are going to Heat Tackle us. We draw. We see our own red card. They haven't researched yet, though, and I really want to red card their research. Here, I'm debating exactly what I want to do. Because I have a Lima in the deck, I can power up the Arceus in the back, and if they don't knock us out, then we're going to be in an okay position. Even if they Incineroar right now, because we can't be burned, it puts us in an okay-ish spot. They are going to Poison Barb. Doesn't matter to Arceus. Would matter, though, to the Carnivine. We draw. We see Guzma. Doesn't really do anything here because we are immune, and we are going to red card them now down to 3 cards. They had 5 in hand, and we are going to get them down. Hopefully that reduces some of their options. Now, this is one of those situations where if I'd have had Leaf, I would have won already because Carnivine could have came out and attacked for 50. They are going to Rare Candy, though, into that Incineroar EX. It's so big, 170 HP. It's going to Scar Charge, smash us, and knock us out. So now we're in a pretty tough pickle, honestly. We are going to throw our Arceus out, but we have a few good options to our hand. We draw Research. That's pretty nice. We draw. We see Rare Candy. We see Rare Candy. We're going to throw that Rare Candy down immediately into Crobat. We throw our Carnivine down for our extra damage. We are going to throw Cape down onto Arceus so it'll survive. We Cunning Link it down to 140, and now we can attack, get it down to 10 HP. As long as the opponent doesn't have Sabrina, we're in a good spot. If they do, though, we are going to lose, and that is unfortunately the reality of it all. The 10 HP on their side. They're going to Communicator, though. I would have slammed Sabrina, and they concede. They didn't have it. We took them out. All right, this game we are going to be going first. We have the Carnivine, we have the Arceus, we see the Zubat. Now, if we research into Crobat Rare Candy, we just immediately win the game, right? Very powerful position to be in. Litten coming out, a lot of that running around because of the Decidueye Meowscarada deck. We see Crobat, and if we see Rare Candy next turn, we can do the big power play of the deck, part of the fun reason to play it. Going first, you have Zubat, you have Carnivine. You can go into Crobat for 30 and 50 on Carnivine. That's 80 damage on your first turn being able to attack, which is pretty freaking powerful. They're going to Cape, though. Now Litten's got 80 HP. Oh no, whatever will we do? Anyway, they are going to Heat Tackle us. They do 70 to themselves. We draw the Rare Candy. We throw the Rare Candy down. We get Crobat out. We're going to hit them with that Cunning Link for 30. And then we are going to Vine Whip them for 50. But they surrender before they see their cat get taken down by this crazy combo. All right, this game we're going to be going first, and we do not have the combo yet, right? If we research into Zubat, though, again, we're in a very, very winning position. We see they are playing Zubat Darkrai, so this is a different variation of this deck using like Crobat and Dark Energy. We draw Research. This is really good. If we see Zubat, we'll be in an amazing position. There's the Pokeball. We're going to Pokeball into the Zubat, and it's the other Arceus. It's okay. We don't have to have it to win, but it does feel really nice to get that crazy combo off. We actually one-shot this Zubat anyway, so we're not even that far behind. We see the Arceus, we see their Zubat. This deck is pretty cute because it's got a bunch of ping damage, and Crobat actually being able to attack is also pretty decent too. I mean, 50 plus you can deal more damage with the Cunning Link and the Darkrai. We are going to draw a red card. We can't really use it here. They've already committed a lot of stuff to the board. We see a Rare Candy. We see Carnivine. Now, this is one of the things that happens in this deck is you don't find Zubat. Because of the amount of basics you have to play for Arceus, sometimes you do find a position where, yeah, you're staring at like Rare Candy double Crobat, right? As long as we can get Zubat online, we should be favored, but if we don't see Zubat, it's going to be much harder because we can't one-shot those big EX Pokemon that they're going to stall us out with. They're going to throw that onto the Carnivine, and now we're at risk to being knocked out next turn by like Rare Candy. They do throw Cape down, so we know they don't have Rare Candy Crobat yet, but Rare Candy Crobat Darkrai does a lot of damage. We have a Lima, which means we can more safely utilize Arceus as a wall. We're going to Vine Whip. He's going to live with 20 HP, and if we have Guzma, we can knock it out with the Cape. They have like a crazy cool play they can do sometimes in this deck where it's like Darkrai ping into Dawn. Oh, there it is. And then especially with Crobat, right, that deals 100 damage if you have the Arceus online because of the Cunning Link. They will knock our Carnivine out here. Because we have a Lima, though, I feel a little safer to throw up this Arceus. Now, I want to get the one in the back set up and ready to go for a follow-up turn. We do draw Guzma, which is cute. I debate on if I want to do it, how I want to go about doing it, because if I Guzma and then, you know, there's just some options. They could always get Crobat later or evolve it. So we are going to just go ahead and throw it down and get a knockout. Anytime a supporter just equals a knockout, it's pretty solid. They have the other Darkrai coming in, though, and we have a Lima here. So what we can do is we can let them hit us. We're going to survive. It's just Darkrai, and then we can Lima it back, and then we can get the knockout with our Arceus, or we can start at least pressuring with the Carnivine, because Carnivine deals 70 to Darkrai. This is so good. They throw their other Arceus down, giving up on their desire to Zubat, and they don't actually attack us. They start getting the Giratina setup, probably knowing that our Arceus doesn't have an easy time getting out. Because we already have 2 energy on the other Arceus, I'm going to put this one here. We can always, once it has 2 and 2, we can always leave or just use this one instead if the opponent hasn't damaged it. And we'll end up eliminating out the other one. But we only can deal 130 damage, so we need to see some other form of damage dealing here. We draw Pokeball though, and this is exactly the position we need to be in. Finally, we see Zubat. Zubat is here. They could have Mars in hand, which would be really crappy for us. We're going to throw Cape down on the Arceus. This is going to protect us from Darkrai Ping plus Giratina. It doesn't save us from Darkrai Ping, Giratina Red, but if they have that, that's just 170 damage. That takes pretty much anything out. They're going to Sabrina us. We are going to send Carnivine out though, because they still need 2 more points. So even if they knock Carnivine out, we'll be in an okay position. They could stall one more turn on their energy if they wanted to. They're getting the ping in here, but we have Leaf, so that'll put us in a good position too. There's the Dark Prism knocking out our Carnivine, puts us down to 1 more prize on both sides, but we should be winning the game right here on the spot. We are going to send Arceus in, our golden Arceus. The other one looks way better. This is the same for like regular Pokemon cards. A lot of the golds don't look great. We're going to rare candy though, throw that Crobat down. That Cunning Link is going to give us 30 damage on the Darkrai. Even if they were caped though, we'd be able to take it out, and just like that, we beat Darkrai, Giratina, Arceus, Crobat. Yeah. All right, so there were the games. I'm a little disappointed we didn't run into Decidueye Meowscarada, but that deck's starting to fall out of favor. It's the classic, meta rotation as things go. That deck itself is still pretty powerful though, but this has a decent matchup against it, because what you can do is you can almost always guarantee the knockout with the Crobats and the Arceus and any kind of damage that Carnivine has dealt, and you can even generally take an early KO against Sprigatito. Then you can knock the Meowscarada out later, because you can cycle between your Crobat and your Carnivine to survive longer, and then you can knock Decidueye out with the Crobat pings, But the deck is a lot of fun. The biggest weakness the deck has is not finding Arceus. It feels really bad, but the high-end turns that you can have with this deck, it's like a 1 2 3 4, it's like a 5-card combo, but when it plays out, it plays out, and it's easier to get combo pieces when they are just basic Pokemon. We see it with like Darkrai, Giratina and stuff. The Pokemon that it's way easier to search those pieces, and since you can search those pieces more reliably, as long as you get a decent little start and then you see a rare candy and Crobat later with the research, then you can get banging. But yeah, I mean, Carnivine into the Crobat evolution, 80 damage right off the rip, 100 if it's Darkrai, which doesn't get left in that active slot nearly as much anymore. People are just playing differently, but the deck is a lot of fun. It deals more than Greninja. Greninja doesn't need another piece, but when that other piece that we're playing in the Arceus is also part of our win condition, it doesn't feel so bad to need that other piece. Sometimes you will lead with Arceus stuck going first, and it feels really bad. Like I said, that's why we have the Leaf and the Alima. Being able to take some hits is really nice, and we can kind of stall out between that. And then once Carnivine gets in, I mean, it deals 50, which really isn't nothing to scoff at. At the point that you're rotating it in, it can be a little later in the game, but as long as you have Crobat set up, it works really well. Anyway, this deck is not anything like super new, but it is positioned pretty well. It's very versatile. I like how quick it can go and turbo out and just deal damage really fast. And I like how it does have that late game insurance with the Arceus Crobat combo. But thanks again for watching. I've been Blue. I will smell you later.